Welcome to the Nightcap. I'm Nick.
And I'm Scott.
And we're here.
We are. I see us.
If you're watching live, cool. Appreciate that. F5live.tv/join us. Put that in there.
If you're not listening live, that's okay. We appreciate you joining us wherever you are, whether it be Facebook, iTunes, Zune, F5live.tv, the podcast publisher Play app, available in the Windows Store right now.
Yeah.
YouTube, or on the PLuGHiTz Live apps, available at plughitzlive.com/apps.
Tonight's question is related to Mobile World Congress because if you were listening live or you follow it, follow the show, kind of
the show
right here on the heels of the Nightcap episode 344, talking about Mobile World Congress coming up this week,
right now,
happening right now. So the question is, because I couldn't come up with one, I had to create one. That's what I do, and that's what makes it fun. It really does. How big of a screen is too big for a phone? We've talked in the past. You had Mark on to discuss
whether a
tablets,
whether a tablet could be used as your primary computer.
Right. Now we're seeing a different topic, but almost in a way related. You have these phones that can do amazing computer-like things, especially with Windows Phone,
right?
Specifically, just because of the capability. Now,
and to be fair, Android's got full open Office suite.
Yes, they do. Yep.
So
iOS will be getting Office. I mean, that's a thing.
You can actually do, and with both of them, you can use what Microsoft just rebranded as Office web apps this week from what was Office Mobile and was all a disaster on any of the platforms. So
the question is, how big of a screen is too big for a phone? We're going to be hearing a 7-inch phone. I looked at that and I kind of had to take a step back. Now, to me, a phone, I know we've kind of gotten away from the phone part of a phone.
It's true.
But my main communications device, I consider a phone.
Sure.
Let's outline boundaries. To me, I consider a communications device, my primary one, to be my phone. That is what I call a phone. This thing in my hand right here is my phone.
Right.
This is what I use to have all of my daily communications. This tablet here is a secondary device, a complementative device.
Right.
My second screen experience, not a phone.
Which is the same case for me. The tablet, while I use it more, it's only because of development. All of my communication takes place on the two phones.
And I mentioned this device. This is a 7-inch tablet.
Right.
Because it's a 7-inch tablet. If this had a phone capability, I would not use it.
Right.
I can't fit this in my pocket. I have to carry it separate.
Or everybody would have to start wearing cargo pants or something.
And I wear them, and I still find that cumbersome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, at least then you can fit it in your pocket. It's still not comfortable, but at least you can get it in your pocket then.
Right. Now, I know Nokia, this is the 928.
Right. There's the 1520 and the 1320.
Those are larger screens.
Yes, they are.
That can hold 44 tiles on a screen, I think, at the largest size. Even that is stretching the limits of your pockets.
And that's a 6-inch.
And that's a 6.
That's the same size as the Note 3 and something else from LG, I think.
And I'm not saying yes, Danielle in the chat room at f5live.tv/join us. Phablet, phone tablet type thing.
That's that middle ground. It started with the original Note, which was a little over 5 inches, and everybody thought that nobody's going to buy it.
Everyone loved it.
When we saw it at CES, our first thought was too big, very silly. But I said it's going to sell.
Yep.
But it's very silly. Then they got bigger. They went to 6. The first thought was crazy, and Abram has one. So,
for me, I have to go back to my innovation roots. I encourage and condone this push. Do not mistake what I'm saying for saying, hey, I hate this and it should stop. No.
The question is, will this be a market success or will this be Mirror's Edge?
Right. That's how we have to kind of litmus test everything.
Right.
Is it to push the envelope forward
and see what's possible and whether people will care,
or is it a thing that's going to just and not really go anywhere, or is it the thing that will be? I can't, obviously with the Note series, it's not for everyone.
Absolutely.
This size phone is for everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe not this platform, but this is what, a 4.7, 4.6, 4.4, something like that.
Somewhere in there.
It's in the 4.5-ish area.
Yeah.
This is for everyone.
Right.
That wants a smartphone.
It's kind of the size that has taken over as standard.
Yeah, plus or minus 0.2 inches, you're across there. I don't care what Apple says. The here-to-here making sense is nonsense.
But as the higher end, the larger size has gotten larger, so has the median.
It has. It used to be 4 inches was the thing.
I remember 3.5 being the thing.
And now we're seeing 7.
Yeah.
With a phone. Like, could you come... and I guess the answer obviously is no. I know the answer. Holding this up to your ear is stupid.
I will tell you, as much as I would love to have a 1520 from Nokia, I have held one, and it's ridiculous. I would never make a phone call on it.
Now the question
because I would feel crazy.
It feels like we're back in 2005. And I get... Usually we do these back and forth, you answer and I answer. I guess it's more of a discussion.
Yeah.
Back in 2005, if you had a Bluetooth headset, Plantronics, baby, you were good.
Plantronics.
I loved my Plantronics Voyager 720. Loved it.
Blue Ant all the way.
Blue Ant. I did shift to Blue Ant.
I've got 3 of them around here.
No, but if you had a headset, even the most gaudy, ridiculous, crazy Motorola Surfboard HS850s.
The Surfboard was a cable modem.
Yes, it was. Not that, but you know,
from Motorola.
The one that looked like a surfboard on your ear.
The H800.
Yeah, that thing.
Series.
You know, and everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
There's the big little ladybug on your ear. It's nuts.
Had the flip-out microphone on it, so you could flip it closed and put it in your pocket.
It was cool when you had them, right? In 05. Then 06 rolled around, and you were a tool if you wore a Bluetooth.
Because the comedians got involved.
Until 2012, it seemed like, and then everyone went back to Bluetooth.
Mm-hmm.
I did not make that transition back to Bluetooth. I found it more cumbersome to have to worry about charging another device and carrying it with me, which is why I don't carry this with me all the time.
Right.
It's another thing.
Right.
I know the rhetorical answer is, well, you don't call people on this like this. You use a Bluetooth, or you use a hands-free, or you run it through whatever. You go through. Yeah.
I can make calls with the headphones that I'm using for the show right now.
Yes, you can. That's what you do. But is that what you do? The larger phones are, I think, very beneficial for what I could be using them for.
Maybe.
True. Like, if I want my device, I want to do everything. I want to watch my media content and stuff, and the larger screen could accommodate that, and I could still do scheduling and all of my email stuff for all of our companies that we're involved in. It could be a versatile thing, but I have to carry another device or headset or thing, and then that becomes the problem I'm fighting with right now.
Where you're carrying 2 things anyway.
But that device is for me, but I can't see myself using it. It's too big.
Yes.
You're there too?
I'm with you. And I would have a Lumia 1520 if it wasn't so ridiculous to hold. I've held one. Tuesday night there was one at an event that we went to, and it was the first time I've seen one in the wild, I'll say.
Yep.
And it was even more ridiculous in the wild than it was holding it. It made the person who had it look odd. Now, you know what? I bet he loves it. And more power to him. That is wonderful. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad that product found a market, found a voice, but it's not with me.
It's not. Now, that's not to say that 7-inch tablet, because you remove the radio feature, it's a tablet.
Mm-hmm.
it isn't a beneficial thing because I use this one all the time. Mm-hmm. I love it for what it is.
It's interesting because the 7-inch that I have is the one I don't use.
Right.
I use the 210s all the time.
Yeah. But
410s, but
yeah. I find it great for what I'm using it for. And I'm like, yeah, this does what I need it to do. And that's where I see fit. But the minute I put a phone on, I'm like, I got to worry about more battery life.
It's interesting because for me, the 7-inch was the size that didn't make sense. Just in general, I've never understood why that product category exists.
I guess I should put it this way. I wouldn't have paid for a 7-inch. I did receive this one for free, and I've made it an amazing tool and an amazing complementary device for free. But at $249 at launch, I would have went for a 10-inch and paid the extra $50.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Okay.
But
see, I find the 7-inch that I find inconvenient, physically inconvenient, and so therefore I do not use it. And even before I had the Surface, I didn't use the 7.
And again, that's the whole taste issue. It's what we talk about with the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Mm-hmm. The device isn't made for everyone.
Yeah, and that's have to be made for everyone.
But could you back to the question though? Is the 7-inch phone the thing? I really do think it's a mirror's edge thing because I can't see more than a couple of hipsters really grasping onto, yeah, let's talk on this.
The same people who carry portable record players around with
something
them.
Like that.
Yeah.
I could see them. You know how they say belt clips are a thing of the past. You know, the belt clips are old. I could see someone making a belt clip for the 7-inch phone and then having a Bluetooth.
The guy with the 1520 had a belt clip for it.
Oh my God, I didn't see that. Okay, that's craziness.
The only one I've ever seen in the wild, and it was used with a belt clip. So
I can see it.
Take that for what it's worth.
Slipping this thing onto your side with a Bluetooth. And the case has a portable charging pack with it.
I'm going to tell you, just looking at this right now, there's no way you can sit down.
I can't sit comfortably. Like I'm trying to hold it up because it would sit here and it would dig into my side.
Yeah, you'd have to take it off and the clip off, which defeats the purpose.
I could see it definitely being a thing that has a battery pack built into it, though, like a 3,000 milliamp hour that you can charge your Bluetooth device on. Because you would have to. And you'd have to keep this charged all the time.
Yeah,
because the phone would die. Because you turn the screen on, that's 10% of your battery with the phone on.
It depends on the platform you've got.
It does.
Because I'm gonna say something crazy. For those of you who have followed the show for the last couple of weeks, I wrote, I switched to an iPhone for 10 days, and I wrote a blog about it. And though I haven't published this particular day's post yet, the battery life on that thing is unbelievable.
On the iPhone?
Yes. I charge my normal phones nightly. That one I charged every 3 days.
Wow.
And I was using it the same way. I had all the same apps installed. I was using it the same way that I use my normal phone, and I was charging it every 3 days.
That's pretty impressive.
So, I mean, if it was whatever Apple does to make that possible,
I don't know what they do. I have to give them credit for that.
I'm incredibly impressed with it. I mean, we've got a development iPod Touch around here that lasts
forever,
weeks sometimes. It's unbelievable. Whatever they do. Well, one of the things they do that drives me crazy is they spin down the Wi-Fi when it's not being used.
That's true. Creates a problem.
Now, I mean, I understand that's how that battery life happens, but I'd rather charge it every day and not have the Wi-Fi spin down. Especially on an iPod Touch that only works on Wi-Fi. Whatever.
We'll have to see if this I think it is a mirror's edge thing. I think a couple of people will get on with it and then realize this is more inconvenient than useful.
But everybody doesn't have to like it. There will be people who will like it.
I'm not trashing the idea.
There will be people who like it. It's just, will there be enough to make it a profitable product? If there are, we'll see more of them. If there are not, it will be the one and only one we ever see.
Well, we'll see Lenovo take a shot at one. We always will. that they seem to just take a shot in the dark about a year after everyone else and go, this idea, but again, and then sometimes it works, and then sometimes it doesn't. And now with them being their own phone business type thing.
Well, they were their own phone business, but now they got Motorola behind them too.
Right.
Which is good.
Maybe we'll see it again. I don't know, but I know that Mobile World Congress will show us a bunch of things like this, and I can't wait.
We're going to see a couple more 22-inch tablets.
Just nuts. I know they've been around. I get it. But I look at that and I'm like, okay, again, where do you put that?
No. So the 22-inch tablet, I understand.
It
is not an everybody thing. There are two particular use cases that I can think of that they'd be incredibly successful.
Okay.
They've got to have a kickstand.
Yes.
They've got to be Surface style. They've got to have a kickstand. And here are the two uses. They are for developers who do co-working stuff.
Yep.
The Nokia developer event, develop day, things like that. Or, sometimes we just go hang out at Microsoft for a day. Things like that. Wow. That would be incredible.
Yep.
Normally, it's just sitting on your desk. It's plugged in. It is that computer that we use here in the studio.
Yep.
It's nothing more than that because that's a touch screen. It's running Windows. It's the same idea. So it's that computer, except you can unplug it and take it with you.
Yep.
And power it on without having to have power. The other big use case that I can think of is for media.
Yeah.
Within the home.
Yep.
Not even portable, just within the home. You want to watch something, you don't have a whole media streaming set up in your house. You just unplug the computer, take it in the living room, you're off and running.
Have the wide eye going or whatever the case may be.
Those are the two uses that I can come up with for
that. Makes sense. Now, again, is that a large enough market to make them mass produced though?
Everybody's making one.
Everyone is making one. You're right.
Dell's got two. HP's the only one I don't know of having one, but Lenovo's got one. Panasonic's got a whole line of them. Toshiba's got a whole line of them.
My problem there is, last thought from me, and then you can counter, is with like the tablet thing in general. When tablets came out, the barrier to entry when Android entered the market was very low. You can buy one at CVS for $50.
Absolutely.
22-inch tablet is expensive. Very expensive.
Yes.
Even a low
Mostly
end
on purpose.
Even a low end media one would be relatively expensive.
Sure.
Is there that many affluent people that are aware of said device to make it a thing?
I get asked about them frequently.
Interesting.
We know somebody who was dedicated to the idea, loved the idea.
Yeah.
Heck, even in the Windows 8 launch, they had a 22-inch from Sony.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Where the little girl was painting with fresh paint.
Right. I always look at those.
There's a Dell one for like $1,200.
Yeah, that's true.
There's the 1200, then there's the 2200, which is the one that he ended up getting. But he wanted it for media, he wanted it for developing, and he wanted it for the ability for the kids to paint.
Touchy bits. It's all about touchy bits. Fair enough.
So I think there's, especially in the lower end, I think there's enough demand for it. I mean, obviously there's enough demand for it, or everybody wouldn't be making one.
That is valid.
Panasonic's got a Toughbook version of it.
Right. I knew that.
They just launched.
That one's awesome.
So people must be buying them if Panasonic's willing to Toughbook it, because that is a small market.
And a very expensive market.
And if they think it's wide enough for them to do that, construction sites and stuff, maybe digital blueprints. I have no idea.
That's a whole untapped market. Wow, yeah, that makes sense.
So,
what do you think? How big is too big? Let us know at PLuGHiTz live on Twitter using the hashtag #nightcap. So that'll be good. Next week, I don't know. Whatever Avram mentions will probably be a nightcap related question. It kind of has to be.
Or if something happens in the next 7 days at Mobile World Congress.
That sparks an interesting thing. It could be a funny thing or a serious thing. We don't know until the show. That's how we roll. So, didn't mean to rhyme all that, and I apologize profusely.
It's okay.
But it was clever nonetheless.
I kind of liked it.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus, and of course, check us out at f5live.tv. This is the Nightcap. I'm Nick,
and I'm Scott.
We'll see you guys next time.
Ciao.